Hello again. So, I have talked about all of the children except for the last one, which is Kerigan. And I met Kerigan last, which is why she's the last video. Kerigan is was 8 when I acquired her in my life. She is uh, also very strong and sassy and likes things the way she likes them. She has struggled as well. All of the kids have had their struggles. Um, you know, when you have, I talked about it in Andrew's video a little bit, when you have children of divorce, their hearts get broken. And, all of the children, of course, in our household were children of divorce. So there were a lot of broken hearts and that needed healed and needed extra love. And we did what we could do, what was within our own um, toolbox, I guess you'd say. We did what we could do to nurture and heal those hearts as much as possible. Um, we, sorry, I'm not even in the video right now. um, we spent a lot of time focusing on making sure everybody was feeling good about things. And, there were therapy sessions and there were all kinds of things. So we are um, now we're on to Kerigan, and when I got Kerigan, she was 8. I think I might have said that already. She was 8 years old, and she was adorable, and she's our fire baby. We don't have any other fire babies. Um, well, one of the grandbabies has a little bit of red hair. That is true. But as far as our kids, she's the only fire baby. So, um, Kerigan has always been kind. She has always been a little nervy. Um, she has always been very loving, and she took to the other kids right away. So, she and Andrew, of course, brother and sister, but she took, Emma and Mary and Christopher and Isaac. She took to them right away, and um, they all kind of blended very well. Um, uh, Finding a person who, like my husband, who has, like I do, a soft spot for somebody who's in turmoil or in distress, really brought with it the children that also have that soft spot. And so, as a family, we we functioned very well kind of right away from the beginning. And um, Kerrigan was not um, able to be with us as much at first because of the visitation situation. Um, but then as time went on, there were some tragic things that happened, and she actually ended up staying with us and actually being in our home for about 10 months. Um, and well, her mom was dealing with some stuff. And again, it was a tragic situation, so it wasn't anything that anybody did intentionally or anything like that. It wasn't crazy stuff. It was just, I mean, it was crazy, but it's not mine to talk about. So, was a tragic situation, and Kerrigan ended up, thankfully, coming and staying with us for about 10 months, which was really wonderful because we actually got to know her. And, well, me and my biological children actually got to know her really well, um, and connect with her and bond with her and all of those things. And um, it was a really great experience to have. Unfortunately, out of tragedy sometimes comes good. And, um, you know, that was the reality in this situation, is that we were really happy to have her. And we were really grateful that we got that time. And um, yeah, she, being the middle girl in the group, um, and, she's the quintessential middle child when it comes to her. And Christopher both definitely filled that role. When you think of a middle child, and, a lot of people will say, whatever birth order, I'm going to tell you right now, I have 6 children. I can tell you that birth order is a thing. So, um, and because you can see it even in the ones that have not always been in the same order. So, for instance, Andrew, who was the firstborn for a long time, and then Emma, who was the firstborn for a long time, and then you put them in a house together, and firstborn are vying for their place. It's a thing. Anyway, so when you think of a middle child, her and Christopher are very much that. They are, but she also was the youngest for a while, so throw that in the mix. Um, so she was used to getting her way and used to being a little spoiled because she was the youngest. That was an adjustment period. Um, but she was young enough, I think, still, that she grew into her role as a middle child very quickly. Not that we expected that of her. Please don't hear me saying that. But but if you watch her evolution, that was what happened. And it compounded because she was the oldest in her other house. So she really, for a long time, I feel like kind of had an identity crisis about where she belongs in the order of things. Because in one house, she was with a single mom with other kids, and she was the oldest. And then she would come to our house, and there's 2 parents, and there's other kids, and she's smack in the middle, but she used to be the baby. So poor thing, didn't know what to do with herself, I think, for a long time. She is um, also powerful and strong. All of our kids are so powerful and strong. And I think, they've seen a lot and they've been through a lot. And I think that they've all come out of it with this quiet strength that is a force to be reckoned with, for sure. Um, if we all ever got our heads going in the same direction about something and somebody wanted to argue with it, I double dog dare them to try, because I think that between all of us, if we all were on the same path, there would be no stopping us. And so, which actually makes my heart really happy for thinking about some new endeavors that we have coming to our family, which I will talk about in another video. Um, uh, she has been married. She had she had an abusive situation with her mother when she was a teenager, and she came to live with us again for um, and pretty much lived with us from that point on. So once again, we got to have her all the time. She did go do visitation with her mom, and but she was mostly with us. and that was really amazing because we got to really know her well and help coach her through some things. And like I said, there were lots of therapies and all kinds of things that were happening in our house. And so it was, you know, running and going, and everybody was involved in everything. And it was really nice to have her be a part of that. By that point, Andrew had moved out. So it was the five younger ones that were all there. But boy, I really um, feel like it was good overall. Again, there were some things that I didn't know about, and I may have a different opinion of the situation if I was aware of what was happening when it was happening. Even knowing it now, and again, I'm going to reserve that for another video. Even knowing it now, I feel like overall it was good. It was good. And that the kids, um, but we had to work through a lot of stuff with everybody. And she definitely had a lot of stuff. And because she did come to our house and was with us, we got, like I said, we got the blessing of getting to know her, which was great. Then she graduated during COVID. So if you want to talk about crazy things that, might just send a person over the edge, COVID would be one. Um, and she handled that with grace and did really well. Um, she had gone to school um, with a dual enrollment situation with college, and that all kind of never completely manifested itself because of the whole COVID situation. And so that was frustrating. She did end up getting married, and I said that before, but she did end up getting married, and she moved with her husband to North Dakota. So she lives in North Dakota right now. We are hoping that she decides to come back at least for a little while and stay here with us while she's in transition. We've told her that if she needs a place to stay for a little bit until she can kind of figure out where she wants to go next and what she wants to do there in the midst of a divorce. And when she can figure out where she wants to go and what she wants to do, if she can't figure that out without taking a little time, we understand that and we're happy to have her. So, um, I I think that the whole situation with her husband or soon to be ex-husband is was a growth experience for her. Um, we were not 100% in support of the marriage. We're always 100% in support of our kids, but sometimes, as I've said in the other videos, decisions, eh. So, um, we don't always support every decision they make, but we do support them through whatever decision they make. So she um, she elected to get married, and we put together a reception, and um, then they moved to North Dakota, and she's been gone for a few years now. We did finally get to go up and see her, and she has a new apartment and all of that, so she's in the middle of the divorce. But she's doing really well, and she seems like she's finding her own way and finding her footing in her new life. And that's all a parent can ask for, right? So, well, that and for her to come back here for a little bit before she decides to go off to wherever else she's going to go. So, there's that. Um, she loves animals, and she also is very nurturing and loving. They all are. I'm so proud of all of them. She's done a lot of work on herself to get herself into a healthy place, and I'm really proud of her. Um, she's a strong cookie, and I mean, they all are, but um, it's pretty fantastic to be able to say that she's doing things on her own. Um, she ended up um, needing to take care of some things with a vehicle and all of that, but everything's good. Everything's taken care of, and she's happy. And she switched jobs so she can move eventually, and um, she's good. She's really good. So, um, she plays the cello. I didn't talk about the other kids and all the band stuff that we did. That'll have to be another video. There is not enough time for that. So, we the music and sports and all of that, doing all of that as a parent is, and supporting all of that as a parent is a whole thing of its own. And so we'll talk about that. Um, but I think that, one of the joys of my life has been, truly raising my kids has been the biggest joy of my life. And watching them all grow to be in a place where they are strong and they are powerful and they're adults and they can make decisions for themselves and they can function on their own and they can do what needs to be done for their lives is really brings their dad and I joy. And we're very proud of all of them and proud of the fact that they are forging their own paths and they're making their own decisions, and um, and that they're doing well. But so this kind of concludes the videos about the children. Um, I am glad that I got to share a little bit about each one of them with you as we go on. Of course, you'll get to know them a little bit more, but just for you to kind of have some foundational information about who they are and just how they're doing and all of that. I think it's a good place to start. So I hope you have a really good day. If you have any questions, as always, go ahead and say so. Talk to you soon.